Many ups and downs for you lately. One of those ups, from what we could see at least by the incredible celebrations, was Scotland qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Can you describe that feeling for us?
Yeah, incredible feeling. A lot of relief being able to do it. You know, after 28 years, it's been a long time coming, and to be part of the squad that, you know, achieves that dream for so many within the country, then it was an amazing feeling. You know, one of the best nights of my life, being able to do that. So it was an incredible high, knowing that all my family and friends were in the stadium and things like that. So yeah, and it's brought the feel-good factor back to the country, which I think is the most important thing.
Yeah, you say they're almost 30 years since you last qualified. You must have been about 3 or 4 years old at the time. Had you even thought of being a professional footballer at the time?
Don't think so. I wouldn't have been thinking too much when I was that age, but from an early age I always kicked the ball around and things like that, so I would have certainly known what football was and certainly enjoyed kicking the ball around. But yeah, in the last World Cup I definitely wasn't thinking anything about being a professional footballer, far too young for that. Don't really have too many memories from it, so I'm glad now that we can give people of my generation memories of Scotland being at a World Cup.
Yeah. And it was not only the fact that you qualified, but the way you did it, those goals and the time that they were scored, absolute cinema.
Yeah, the quality of goals was so high. You know, when you need the lads to produce, you know, the best goals of their life, then they all stepped up, and yeah, obviously a crazy ending to the game, which was amazing. You know, we couldn't have, you know, asked for it much better. Obviously a bit nail biting at times for our fans and people at home and things like that, but you know, to now look back on the game.
McLean spotting Schmeichel off his line. Oh! What about that?
You know, I think you could watch the highlights of that game over and over again and never get bored of it, especially the last 5-10 minutes. And yeah, something I'll always watch with a big smile on my face.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. We spoke about ups and downs at the start of our chat now. Sorry to be a bit of a buzzkill, but we were going to talk about it eventually. It was quickly onto, if you want to call it, the everyday of club football. It's not been the best of runs for Liverpool at the moment. How do you think that you guys turn this around?
You just turn it around by working harder, on the training pitch, by running more, by trying to outwork your opponents. That's the only way through these tough moments. You know, you have to outwork everyone, and you know, if we don't do that, then we'll stay in the same moment that we're in. If we do it, then the results will start to change. I do believe that, and it's about trying to not lose too much confidence and the belief in your own ability and things, especially when the outside noise is so loud and everyone's talking about individuals, everyone's talking about the team. It's important that we all stay together and keep belief in each other, and I think as long as we've got that, then we've got enough quality in the squad to be able to turn this around.
We can see the results are different, but what about things that we don't necessarily get to see from the outside? The day-to-day, have things changed at all compared to last season?
No, I think it's very similar in terms of how we prepare for games and how we you know, how we prepare training and things like that. We've done pretty much the same, but you know, we were excellent last season. We were best team in the league by a country mile. Won the league, you know, one of the easiest probably ever to win it. And you know, this season now we've faced a few difficulties, and it's been difficult, and it's not nice losing games, and the way we've been performing is not nice for anyone. But you know, we have to try and get through this moment, and we have to start climbing the table again. But that only happens with, you know, consistency. It only happens with, you know, us working hard as a team with each other and things like that. And if we do that, then, you know, I believe the results will turn, and then our position in the league will turn as well.
You speak a bit about belief. What is your role in that department? How would you describe your role off the field at Liverpool, being one of the more senior players now?
Just trying to help the lads. If anyone's finding it difficult, if anyone's struggling or whatever, it's trying to help them. It's also trying to demand more from them, demand more standards, and you know, always keep on at them, and I think that's what the leaders have always tried to do, and that won't change now. Do you know what I mean? We'll try and keep demanding more and more from everyone, and if we do that, then, like I said, I believe this situation will turn. It's not easy to talk about just now because, you know, the results have been so poor, but only us on the pitch can change it. We're the only ones that can change it, and it's up to us to now step up to try and do that.
This is your 9th season at the club now, but there was a time before Liverpool. It was very evident from a now famous tweet of yours from 2012 that resurfaced with the hashtag NeedAJob. More than 10 years on now, you have won everything there is to win in English football. Looking back, how would you describe that journey?
Yeah, it's obviously, I'm not one that looks back too much. I always try and look forward. I think when I retire and things like that will be the time to look back on what I've achieved and you know, what I've done in the game. But you know, what I can say is I'm very proud of, you know, where I've came from, what I've done in the game, you know, how I've went about it and things like that. And you know, that's what makes me proud as to how I've went about it and how I've managed to make my dreams become a reality. So, you know, obviously when I do retire, I'll probably go in a bit more depth and, you know, can go back in certain moments and things like that. But as just now, I'm sitting here focused on, you know, the next game, and that's the way football works. You always have to look forward. You can't change your past, you can only change your future, and that's always the attitude I've took, and I think it's served me well up until now.
So would it be too early to ask about your legacy in the Premier League? Because I've gone through several lists and many put you as at least top 3 Premier League left backs of all time.
Yeah, look, obviously it's nice for people to say that. It's nice for me to be in the discussion and things like that. And I know I've done a lot for this club and in the Premier League and things like that. And I know I've been part of very successful teams and I've played a huge part in that. So I'm happy to know that. You know, if people are discussing left backs and things like that, I'm happy to be in the discussion and things like that. But yeah, it's not something I focus too much on. I just focus on, you know, trying to keep high standards, trying to help this team as much as I can, trying to focus on the next game, which hopefully we can win and, you know, build a bit of confidence again. So in terms of legacies and things like that, it's not something I give too much thought about. And but, you know, obviously when I retire and I've got a bit more time in my hands, then, you know, it'll maybe be something that pops into my head.